Hi, I'm Kevin Bailey and I'm the Senate candidate for the Australian Conservatives at the upcoming federal election. I got involved in politics, I got involved with the Conservatives Party because I was very concerned about the way that politics is going in this country. I'm not the only one. As I travel around Victoria, I come across so many people who are fed up with the swamp that is Canberra and the bubble that seems to have evolved in Canberra to the point where they're not listening to ordinary, everyday people anymore. I grew up in a family with 8 kids in a 2-bedroom house, a working class family. I left home and joined the army and spent 9 years at the beginning of my career in the military. I ended up in the SAS, where I met a lot of people who had been prepared to live for their country, to lay their life down for their country and the values and the beliefs that this country was built on. And so that's very, very important that we actually honour the sorts of sacrifices that so many Australians have made throughout our history for our beliefs and values. These beliefs and values are being undermined by these postmodernist or this political correct identity politics brigade who seem to think that our sovereignty is not important. After I got out of the army, I spent 28 years in the financial services sector, giving advice to people on how they could be aspirational, how they could make a difference for themselves and their families by taking personal responsibility. I was involved in giving advice. I helped start up the Financial Planning Association, helped write the Code of Ethics and Rules of Professional Conduct. I gave advice on ABC Radio for nearly 14 years on Saturday mornings on the Finance Talkback. I spoke quite extensively on a number of programs on television and radio. I worked for 3AW for a while there. I wrote a column for the Herald Sun on investment and how you could actually make the economics work. Benjamin Franklin said that the path to prosperity is industry and frugality, working hard and spending less than you earn. That goes for governments as well as for individuals. And unfortunately, the governments of both persuasions have been spending far too much money, putting us into debt and really, putting the next generation at risk. And so for anyone who's got kids, and my wife and I, with our children, we want to make sure we leave them a legacy that's not just full of debt and full of political correctness and identity politics and all the sorts of things that are going on in Australia today. I got out of the investment industry and got involved in the philanthropic sector and tried to make as much of a difference as I could in that area over the last few years. But what I realised was I needed to actually stand up and be counted in the realm of politics. In the Senate, that's the area where we can make most difference because you get 2 votes. 1 vote for the government of your choice, be it Labor or Coalition, and the second vote is to keep them honest. That's the vote in the Senate, and that's where we're asking you to vote 1 Australian Conservatives. Our policies, our principles really stand for freedom. The freedom to actually live our lives the way that we want to live our lives and to raise our children without the state or anyone else saying what they need to be exposed to. We are the ones who parent our children, not the state. The other thing that we want to do is reduce the debt. We want to reduce the bureaucracy. We want to reduce all of the carryings on where Canberra just seems to want to expand and expand and expand. We want to be able to bring the sovereignty of our country first and foremost. We want to protect our borders. We want to make sure that we don't hand over our sovereignty to the United Nations and all of their ideas and crazy ideals that they try to enforce upon us. So there are lots and lots of things that we have policies on and procedures that will make a difference for all Australians. So my request to all of you is to get out there and assist us to make a difference. We're going to be really fighting hard in this campaign, and we want to make sure that the Greens don't hold the balance of power. Whoever forms government in the next election, we want to make sure that the Senate is a place where those legislative amendments can be made to ensure that the political correctness, the virtue signalling and the identity politics are really pushed out of the Canberra agenda. Thank you.